This episode was brought to you by Keeps.
Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're looking at Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This is the latest Dragon Ball Z game, and like almost every other Dragon Ball Z game before it, you play through the story of Dragon Ball Z from start to finish. However, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is far more in-depth and has significantly more fan service than any of the other ones, which is great. They're bringing back characters that I guarantee no one in the world remembers ever existed in the universe in the first place. Not even Akira Toriyama would recognize half the fucking cast and crew here. They'll have like a side quest given to you by the baker who appeared in a single scene during a flashback of episode 8 in the original Dragon Ball series from the 80s. It's crazy the kind of characters they brought in here, and it's really heartwarming to see a lot of them brought back. But I don't think their side quests they give you are all that enjoyable. Most of them are just fetch quests. Hey Goku, it's good to see you after 40 years. Can you find me some fresh deer meat, 3 tissue boxes, and a lawnmower? I'm working on a new invention. Just the quests themselves aren't very fun from a gameplay perspective, but it's really cute to do them and then get that character's soul emblem, which is basically like a little trading card with the character's face on it, a little token with their face on it. I'll get into that in a minute. The soul emblem mechanic in the community board I think is a really cool, interesting mechanic they brought in. But yeah, it's not just bringing in fan service characters, they bring in literally every element from Dragon Ball Z's main story arcs. Even the filler episodes such as Goku and Piccolo driving, it's here. It is a really deep dive through the entire arcs with all of the fat trimmed off it. It's a really nice summary of everything, and it's really enjoyable to just sit through and rewatch it again, kind of. Like, even just not playing the game, watching it is a lot of fun, because you get all of the same story elements, all of the same cheesy dialogue, cheesy writing, and power-ups and shit. You know, I was so fucking invested in this by the time I was able to gather the 7 Dragon Balls in the open world. I damn near made a wish myself for extra inches to my height. I just got so invested in the story and the game. It was cute. I felt like a little kid again going through all this nostalgia shit. And I will say, if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, I don't think there's a whole lot here for you in terms of the story and everything. Most people are just going to find it overly cheesy and just silly. But for fans of the series, it's exactly what you want from a Dragon Ball Z story. It covers everything, it doesn't leave anything out except for a couple of trivial things and a couple of small changes. It's just great. I really like what they've done with the narrative, and it's a lot. There's a ton of cutscenes here, and I don't think all the cutscenes look very good. A lot of them are kind of Jump Force-esque, like Jump Force meets PowerPoint. It's just very still image shit, which is a little underwhelming, but it's fun. I do enjoy it. Like, come on, how can you not love these fucking grown men constantly trying to make each other angry to power themselves up? Like, Goku, you're not angry enough, get angrier. Come on, Gohan, that's not nearly angry enough. You fucking kidding me? You look like a pussy out there, not angry. Think about that time you saw an opinion on Twitter you didn't agree with. Remember how mad you were then? Get that mad now to defeat Cell. Come on. It's fucking awesome. It's so great. And that's definitely my favorite part, is just reliving all of the Dragon Ball Z nostalgia, because I haven't seen all of the arcs since I was fucking 11 years old now. It's been a long time, and it was a really nice refresher on all of it. And I know it's not unique to Dragon Ball Z games, of course, because all of them cover the exact same shit and all hit the same beats, but Kakarot, I think, does it the best by just getting everything in it. So yeah, definitely probably the strongest part of this game. The gameplay, I don't think, is anything overly different from what you're used to from Dragon Ball fighting games, except for Fighter Z, of course. It's exactly what you're expecting. A lot of spamming B, timing, dodging, instant transmission behind someone. A whole bunch of the same old, which isn't a problem because it's the tried and true formula for Dragon Ball fighting games. You know what to expect. You get pretty much the exact thing you're expecting. They have a super ability level up deal where you collect orbs in the world or through battle or through the story, and you're able to upgrade your different attacks, different supers, get new abilities and new bonuses that you stack on your characters. So you can switch things out, change things around, but the gameplay at its core is exactly what you're expecting from a Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Now, one new mechanic that I mentioned a moment ago that I really like is the whole soul emblem and community board. The community board is something that they brought in here where there's different categories where all of your soul emblems can fit into. For example, every main character has a soul emblem, Goku, all of them, and they each come with different values for each different category they can be in, like Z Fighter, training, they all have different numbers. And you put these soul emblems in the board, And as you match other characters in the soul and the community board, you get bonuses. You know, some bonuses give you bonus XP, some give you more damage, all kinds of different bonuses that you're able to unlock by putting new soul emblems in there that you get from the story or through the side missions. And I think that's a lot of fun to keep amping up your power, making yourself more powerful, making the grind easier. You know, maybe you want to collect more items in the world or get more money. Well, then you'd overload some of those categories that give you those bonuses with some soul emblems that fit there, and then you can give them gifts that increase it further. I just found that system to be very nice and just kind of a cute little twist that was able to just amp the gameplay up a little bit more for me and add a little bit of strategy and preparation. Now, the open world is something that I know a lot of people are curious about. I don't think the open world really adds all that much to this game. It's kind of just barren. There's not a whole lot to do. There's side quests in there, sure. But I mean, I don't think there's anyone that's going to go wild over the fishing mechanics you can do in the open world, where you just slap a fucking butt plug in your ass as Goku and dangle that shit in a river and wait for a fish to bite, and then you bring it up and kick it down. It's not overly fun to fish. Hunting is equally as unfun, where you just go around sticking your whole entire fist up a deer's asshole to get its meat. There's also dinosaurs that you key blast and then you get dinosaur meat. I don't think anything the open world has is overly enjoyable. The random encounters and the villain encounters aren't very fun either, because it's just the same repeating 3 or 4 enemies. So you just keep fighting the same shit in the open world and getting very trivial rewards from it, so it's never worth the investment. And they also have these orbs floating around every area, so you can collect all of these orbs and apples and onions. But that's not exactly what I give a fuck about in Dragon Ball, is collecting apples and onions. I just want to be beating some ass and getting a goofy story. So it's just, I don't think the open world is all that great. It is big. There's a lot to explore. There is a ton of shit in the open world. And there is a lot of side characters, of course, scattered throughout it. But it's just not... It's not very fun to just go around doing the hunting and fishing and shit like that. There's just not a whole lot of value there. But if you want to talk about pure size of it, it is impressive with how big it is. I wasn't expecting that. Now, the game will take you anywhere from 30 to 40 hours to complete. It took me just under 30 hours to beat it from start to finish, and that was without doing all of the side quests. I did a ton of them because I got kind of addicted to getting soul emblems, so I'd bring like the Ginyu Force back with a Dragon Ball Wish just to get their soul emblems, which was fucking tedious as shit. But just doing, you know, all the side quests and everything, like 100%ing this game, I could absolutely see it take anywhere from 40 to 60 hours. There's a lot of content in the game, but I don't think all of it's good. I know everyone always likes to, you know, brag about how long a game's playtime is. You know, $60 and you get 50 hours worth of entertainment out of it. It's great. But I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good selling point. Yeah, you get 50 hours, but are all 50 hours good? I'd rather have a $60 game that's 8 hours long, but all 8 hours are great, as opposed to a 50-hour game where 12 hours are great, and then all the rest fucking sucks and is tedious and is just padding for time. That's kind of how I feel with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. A lot of even the main story missions are just fetch quests. Hey Goku, we're in the middle of a filler arc, so do you mind going and getting some meteorite that crashed in the middle of, you know, the fucking Cell Games arena somewhere over there? Oh yeah, just use your senses, you'll find it, it'll be fun, bring it back. That's boring missions, and again, most of the side missions are boring too, that are fetch missions. It's just, I don't think there's a whole lot of value in the game's length when it's mainly padding from a lot of the missions. Now, not all of the story missions are fetch missions. In fact, I'd argue less than half are, but there definitely are too many, I'd say. The majority of the missions, you're either going to get an immediate fight or immediately going out to fetch some shit. Also, I'd like to say, half of the side missions in terms of their XP are totally fucking worthless in comparison to the story missions. For a single story mission, you can get 3 million XP. For a single side mission, you get like 3k. That's towards the end of the game, but that's the difference between a side mission and a story mission. You get so much more XP doing story missions than you do side missions, so if you're trying to level up, the last thing you're going to want to do is go around fucking fetching shit for 3,000 XP. But you do get some good items from them, which could be worthwhile if you want to get your community board shit up. But I mean, the XP difference is remarkable. Plugging this into the moist meter, I'm giving Dragon Ball Z Kakarot a nice 65%. While I do love the story and all of its cheesy, goofy goodness, if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball already, there is absolutely nothing for you there. I imagine most people get turned off by it. And I also do like the gameplay, but it gets extremely tedious, and it really is the same fight over and over and over again. There's really nothing too innovative or new about the combat system. Not that it totally needs to reinvent it, but just something to kind of make it a little fresher. I guess they kind of tried. They'll have these like bullet hell sections where a boss enemy has a special attack, but even that's just one quick thing that lasts 10 seconds. That's nothing overly great. So the gameplay does get super samey and tedious after a little while and just boring and uninteresting at points. But I enjoyed the game overall. I'd say it was a lot of fun. I do think the side missions as well, really all the missions that involve fetch quests really needed to be addressed a little bit better. It seems like it just really wanted to pad out the playtime without any real justification for getting those items or any real story significance behind it. Just seemed like for the sake of making it long. Overall though, good game, had fun with it.
Jackson here from the hair analyzing department over at Moisture HQ. Did you know Keeps is revolutionizing the way men are treated for hair loss? It's actually pretty incredible just how easy and affordable they have made keeping your hair on your head. With Keeps, you can visit a certified doctor online and get scientifically proven hair loss treatments delivered discreetly straight to your door. It's that easy and successful because Keeps treatments are up to 90% effective at reducing and stopping future hair loss. Find out just why nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps with the hairs on their heads by heading over to keeps.com/moist. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/moist or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. Once again, that's keeps.com/moist.